Hi there. In this very fine night, I want to show you how I decided to fortify and expand my designer perfume collection. I don't know about you, but I go through phases of like discovering a few amazing new niche fragrances or even more so brands and just going full like, oh, I'm never using designer fragrances again. So over it. I'm beyond, just the usual, the cookie cutter perfumery. And then every once in a while I just rediscover something in my own collection, and that's what we're gonna start from. And it's like, oh my god, this is so good. This is everything just so. You just put it on and you enjoy it, and it lasts, and it's joyful, and it's interesting, and it's juicy, and it's everything I've wanted, and it's not anything super complicated. It gets so many compliments, and then I get again into this whole phase of using the designer perfumes and things that are a little bit more kind of more global market oriented. If you can relate, tell me which kick are you currently on? Are you like all niche, all designer, maybe craft, body sprays, nothing? You let me know. When it comes to me, let me show what I got. The first one, I think I had 1 or 2 full-size bottles. Then a subscriber generously shared her travel with me that she didn't quite wear as much, and I think I already used up like more than a half of it very quickly. And this is Miracle by Lancome. I still have a little bit, and I usually have a rule of first finishing all of the samples and decants and then buying something, but this time, might as well. Miracle by Lancome. I've tried high and low to find the perfect kind of lychee, peony, rose perfume, and to date, neither Last in Paradise by Ex Nihilo or Fleur Narcotique or Blouse by Yves Saint Laurent, or like what other lychee, rose, peony perfumes do we have? Very few. There are not that many, but there are a few that kind of aim at that purity of, I think, is it Pitalia, the ingredient that kind of creates that illusion. And yet, to date, not only for the price, but for the composition and the quality, Miracle by Lancome remains just a top. It contains somewhat dated white musk profile, which reminds me of kind of soapy laundry detergent. However, I love the design of the bottle, and I love that there is not much of these zesty or sour or grabby kind of migraine-inducing musks here, and it's this subtle, very tasteful bitterness that comes with the rosy, peony, somewhat lychee type of profile. I love it. To this day, it's one of the designer gems, and I decided to fortify my collection with a full-size bottle. It's been a long time since I had it, and I think it's time to renew. Alright, this is something new, something I'm exploring, and thanks a lot to my subscriber who gifted me the bottle. This is Alaya. I've had Alaya White, I think, and that was not quite my cup of tea. I think I re-gifted that or swapped it. This, the classic Alaya or the Perfume, to me is this kind of a well-balanced vanilla. I don't really... Let's refresh my memory. Yeah, there's somewhat of a patchouli sourness, but like this synthetic patchouli that comes with it. Somewhat in a very, very far away fashion reminds me a little bit of J'adore Dior, but not, yes and no, kind of like yes, but not really. And I'm not a big fan of J'adore Dior. I don't really like these like sour, sweet patchouli profiles. We'll see. I'll give it a go, but I'm not sure if this is something that I would like die to wear. But it's interesting nevertheless, and it's a classic that's definitely worth at least refreshing my memory of how it wears. And another classic that I never actually experienced, and I just recently renewed my whole love for this brand. This is Kenzo Le Monde Abus. Hope I'm saying it correctly. I bought it primarily for the bottle, and you'll see why. And generally, I recently finished a huge decant of Le Parc Kenzo or L'Homme Kenzo. I don't remember. Kenzo has so many citrusy aquatics. I lost track of them, and I fell in love with it all over again. I actually am like craving a bottle now, and I might just get it again. I used to be a Le Parc Kenzo girl all the way in early 2000s, and something in me asks the current me to bring it back to the future me. We'll see. But all about this. This is, I can't remember, Il Mondo Bello, Le Monde Abus. I cannot remember when it was first released, but it has this kind of stone garden aesthetic to it. And Kenzo used to make beautiful bottle shapes. I don't know why they are so minimalistic now. And it's everything that we love Kenzo for, is this beautifully crafted, icy, watery texture of its perfumes. It's this just freshly thawed ice with citruses, freshly cut grass, maybe not realistic grass, but some kind of allusion to that. This is what prevents me from really diving into a lot of Hermès colognes, because I prefer the way that Kenzo and actually Serge Lutens does colognes. This is exactly what I want from a fresh citrusy perfume. It's just so effortlessly elegant. Love it, love it, love it. Very happy that I bought it, and obviously this is a vanity table favorite just because of its shape alone. And as we are talking of Hermès, as I said, I just can't quite fall in love with Hermès fragrances. I tried so many of them. And recently I had a thought, since neither Au Rhubarbe or the Garden collection, nothing quite sits well on me as a personal fragrance, as a perfume. But then I thought there's something about those piercing and yet disturbingly bitter, fruity fragrances that could work brilliantly as a shower gel. And I decided to give it a go. So I got myself sort of a travel size just to try if I enjoy it in the hot shower in the morning or in the evening. En Jardin sous le Nil, so the classic, the first, I think it was it the first garden by Hermès? I think so. And I only tried it once. Brilliant. I actually do really enjoy Hermès colognes and the garden, apparently, the garden series of fragrances as shower gels. It in that composition, when you mix it with hot water and vapor, something magical happens that doesn't happen on my skin. And the other one that I got is Eau d'Orange Verte, and that is their cologne version. And again, it would be just like Sisley colognes, Hermès colognes are just too bitter and kind of inhospitable to me. Like they're just not friendly on my skin. But I adore it in the shower. And I gotta say, the shower gels by Hermès are very, very strongly perfumed. I must say that I've been burned a few times with expensive shower gels that come from, premium perfume lines such as Frédéric Malle, some Amouages, which very surprising, that had no longevity or silage if you bought them in the formulation different from the Eau de Parfum. Like you would expect that Amouage shower gel would be like as potent as their perfumes. Not really, but Hermes. That's the stuff. That's the stuff. It even lingers on your skin for like fair 15 minutes. So very happy that I gave them a go. I am gonna be an Hermes girl after all, but in the shower. Another brand with which I have kind of like hot and cold relationship is La Perla. I fell in love unexpectedly with La Mia Perla by La Perla. This is one of my like comfort scents. And I keep trying to find another La Perla fragrance that I love as much, and I haven't quite landed there yet. I tried La Mia Perla Nero. Kind of forgettable, typical sweet fragrance, kind of like orchidy vanilla. And after so many trials, I just kind of give up, and I got myself a body lotion, La Mia Perla, by La Perla. As you know, this brand makes, I think it's premium price lingerie. And I must say I'm a little disappointed. The body lotion, first of all, doesn't really do much as a skincare product. Some of them, like, don't laugh at me, like, oh, what did you expect? Well, I do expect for this price to actually deliver both the aroma that I love so much and the skincare benefits. It costs that kind of money. And some of them do. Some of the perfumed lotions and shower gels, like Hermes, for example, are really good products in the skincare and the kind of the bath time realm, but not this one. It's kind of like very generic lotion, and the scent here is nearly unrecognizable. It's nothing. Like if you tried in this formulation, you would not go to buy the Eau de Parfum, which I love so much. So weird. But thanks to my subscriber, I got a few of their other fragrances to try. So this is my last ditch attempt to discover and love something by La Perla. If this is not gonna do it, I'm done. So here we have La Perla Luminous Eau de Parfum. A radiant, woody and floral bouquet, luminous as you are. Oh, is that? It's typical, very, very sour, sugary, sweet contrast. It's kind of like super synthetic patchouli with something sweet on top of it. Hard pass, kind of generic to me, and I would say actually Romance by Ralph Lauren is a more interesting sour-sweet combo. This one is La Perla Eau de Parfum, the signature fragrance. Okay, this is their namesake perfume. If you hear in your nose, those are the kittens. I took 3 kittens for fostering, and they're tearing the whole place apart. Very happily so. Similar situation, not as zesty, but still this kind of like rosy vanilla heart plus something very sour like synthetic patchouli. To me, it's kind of a pass. It's very forgettable. It's not quite my profile. They also have another line of, I think it's fairly recent, that you can find online, but I haven't seen it in stores. Actually, it's generally a complicated situation to chase down even designer perfumes and their flankers when it comes to like brick and mortar type of shops. Okay, let's see what we have here. La Perla Possibilities. I like the shape and the coloring of the bottles. Check it out. It's kind of cute. Floral Fruity Rose. Agree. To me, it's kind of a little bit of a raspberry sweetness, kind of raspberry syrup. I mean, raspberry, rose, strawberry, you name it. Here they claim there's rose water, pitalia, orange blossom. Okay, orange blossom can also add that kind of impression. Mexican vanilla. It's a very kind of jammy rose, but without extra sweetness. So it's like a sweet, somewhat syrupy rose souffle. Cute. Cute. I'll say youthful, if you like that word. But not something that I would die for. All right, another one. Let the dance begin. To me, it smells like yet another vanilla oud, like oud silk satin mood kind of version, but like much softer, like a more budget-friendly option. Yeah, like to me, it's kind of somewhat burnt, oudy vanilla. Very, very mild, very watered down compared to, Arabic or like more potent variants. But if you look at the notes, let the dance begin does not talk about oud whatsoever. It has tuberose. Okay, I think tuberose with pepper and cardamom maybe somehow combined gives me this somewhat burnt but grabby feeling. It's kind of... But it has caramel, damask rose, and all kinds of sweet white florals, orange citruses. I would say ylang ylang, yeah, like it's very sugar sweet. But yeah, now that I read the description, the magical power of marketing, I no longer smell oud. But like my first impression was that it's like oud vanilla in a very kind of run-of-the-mill fashion. Yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't really... I understand this is designer. It's not even designer. This is kind of like almost budget-friendly options like Victoria's Secret and such. But considering that we just discussed how special is Lancome Miracle to me compared to its fairly affordable price and fairly old age when it was designed as a scent, that to me is worth the money. This isn't. Okay. Another one is Villa Sorrento. So that's their version of an aquatic, I presume. It's just like, to me, it's like just typical citrusy cologne, nothing distinctive. Citrus aromatic. All right, all of these came out in 2021. Just like when we started going out, finally again. Grapefruit, green mandarin, blood orange, neroli. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, the only reason, if they were super cheap, I haven't checked the price online, but if they're like $20, $30, the bottles look kind of cool. I like it. I dig the aesthetic of it. Otherwise, there are two more. Once Upon a Garden, La Perla. This is like weird, unpleasant stink to it. Like a warm, rotting hay. What is this? Mint, pink pepper, mandarin orange, sweet pea, rose, raspberry leaf. Maybe it's raspberry leaf. It's just, ooh. Moss, amber tonic, and patchouli. Idyllic summer, youthful exuberance. They all say it's about feminine, powerful, brave, timid, smart, young, cheerful, vibrant, the whole dictionary of words, woman. Sure. Oh, I really don't like this. Something about the composition here. To me, this is like warm, rotting hay. I don't know what's rotting in there, but something is. Okay. You see, it's not going well so far, right? La Perla, About That Night. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the winner. Let's see. It's like, as much as I love everything, packaging, scent, about La Mia Perla, I am struggling to find a match for it in this brand. About Last Night. This is probably the only one that I kind of sort of dig. But it's still, why do they all have this like super sugary, liquid sugar type of base? That's strange to me. That sounds to me very dated. Liquid sugar, it's all the way, brings us back to Mugler Angel and La Vie Belle and the army of perfumes that came from it. Yeah, like they all contrasted with citruses. Here, they even promise us lavender, tagetes, and then the whole block of citruses, coriander, the whole block of the usual rose and white florals, osmanthus, and then vanilla, tonka bean, patchouli, and about like 1,000 other things that you can't really tell apart, because it just doesn't smell that complicated to me. But it's probably the one that I so far get the best, kind of the most. It's the most interesting, which is a very relative term in this case. Okay, you know what? I'll try to put it on my skin and maybe give it a go on one rainy afternoon, which never happens in Florida. But I'll try. But I don't know. I know what to tell you. La Perla apparently only made one perfume that I'm crazy about. That's it. It's not going to discourage us because we're moving on. We are moving on to a few kind of unexpected add-ons to my collection. And first, probably the best surprise of all, I finally have a bottle from the boutique Dior. I kind of fell in love with their fig. They have a mineral fig. It was something sauvage. I loved it, but I have probably 5 fig-centric fragrances, so I had to stop myself. This one was gifted to me by a subscriber, and I was surprised that this actually is a boutique fragrance. It's called Escale Parati. Escale a Parati. Eau de Toilette by Dior. I do dig the bottles. The bottles are kind of cool. Can you see it? Can you see it? Super duper cool. Fragrance itself, though, reminds me of, what was that? Villa Sorrento by La Perla. And about 1,000 other colognes. This is just a balanced, classic, kind of bergamoty, citrusy colognes. I don't quite, I mean, I do understand it from the perspective of having a complete lineup that encaptures, all families of scents by one brand. But what's the point of making yet another citrusy cologne? Like, my name is a legion in this case. What is this? Why? Who needs something so generic again? I started yawning when I was reading its description. So, hope I'm saying it right. Escala Apparati. It's a Cerise collection by Dior. It is, which year is that? 2012 when it came out. And it's a yawn. It's a yawn, guys. Captures Brazilian exotics with citrus and woody notes of bitter orange, lemon, petitgrain, rosewood, mint, cinnamon, red berries, and tonka bean. The only thing that kind of saves it is trying to combine rose with mint. If you try really, really hard, you can detect mint here. And I think that's about what what saves it for me. There are not that many fragrances that can capture mint. Mint is such a volatile scent. It's gone before you know it. So it's usually a continuous struggle by the perfumers to capture mint in the way that the spearmint, like the freshly crushed mint leaves, really smell. It's not that easy, actually. Kind of, sort of, maybe. I mean, I'll wear it. I'll wear it to the gym, you know what I mean? Like, I'll wear it, like, to the places where you don't really want to manifest yourself with something gourmand. But for such an expensive line, I'm very grateful for the gift. But would I really spend my own money on something like that? No. But, gosh, what's the name of it? Balade Sauvage. Their mineral fig. Ooh, that could be worth the price tag. All right, another gift from my subscriber was a Florist Honey Oud. You know, I've tried a few Florist perfumes and I'm yet to be impressed. I have their Santal, I had their, I think it was White Rose. Oh gosh, I had a few here and there. And it's just, I mean, the packaging is very nice. The way that it's stylized kind of suggests that it's more toward men than there is toward women, though it really depends on the scent. But kind of aesthetics is kind of, I would say, minimalistic, yet sturdy. Honey Oud is what you would expect from like a paper type ouds. Like, I divide ouds into roughly 3 categories. Medicinal ouds, things that almost turn burnt and sour and like they really grab your throat. Sweet ouds, they usually are there with spices, with rosy jammy kind of and their oud is mostly just gives it all structure rather than dominates. And paper like ouds, they can be with citruses, they can be with mineral notes. That's where you can't quite put your finger on it. Is it oud, is it not? But just give you this, to me it often has this like background of an old book, smell of an old book. That's what this is to me. It's all right. It's reserved, and for those of you who like ouds but want something very reserved and very understated, I think that would be nice. To me, it's just lacks depth, and that's what generally I notice about Florist design, their olfactory design. It, to me, to my nose, it often kind of falls flat a little bit. It's like a sketch rather than an oil painting, and that's purely an aesthetic preference. It's just like, to that and other English style olfactory design, I do still find a little bit more nuance, a little bit more deep. Penhaligon's, to that matter, I find that their design, even though often is stripped of any kind of oily or rich or vibrant features like South of Italy niche perfumery or Arabic perfumery, but still, like Penhaligon, like at least their classics, they have a very definite and deep kind of contents to what you feel when you smell them. Here, I find that kind of like, it's just like you take a step and there's a wall there. Like, I can't quite go anywhere with their designs. But they're very refined. I'll give you that. It's hard to be in bad taste if you choose something by that brand. And just for the proper contrasts, Italy, Salvador Ferragamo. I adore this fragrance, and this is my backup of it. This is their boutique line, Tuscan Creations, and the fragrance is called La Camidia. I have it in an earlier version, and unfortunately my spray broke. It just kind of fell through. So it is slowly evaporating, and I really need to start using it more. So I got myself a backup. What do I love about La Comedia so much is that it's one of the most fast-moving, and yet La Comedia has dynamic properties of how the scent moves in the air. It has a lot of silage, but it's almost like sparkly. It's a spice-based perfume. It has like several types of spices in here, including I think red pepper and something else, and paprika I think even. And it's just so fluffy. It's like a miracle spicy dust that just fills the space almost instantly. It has a lot of diffusion, and yet it's not cloying, it's not annoying, it's not smothering. It's just, it's like little tickles that are suspended in the air. I love La Comedia for it. I've had quite a few spicy perfumes, and there is a fair share of perfumes that have chili pepper or paprika or this or that. None of them come close to how the La Comedia tickles the nose. I think this is one of the gems in their collection, and one of the gems generally in the boutique collections of designer fragrances. Not very well known, highly recommend you can still find it, and if you like spices, especially if you like peppers. This one is just delightful. I always have a smile on my face when I wear it because it's such a vibrant, fluffy, sparkly, and dynamic type of perfume. Oh, this one was a hunt. I kid you not. Perfume de Perfume is, I think, Maurice Roussel. Am I crazy or is it him? His own line of perfumes. And there he kind of played with various themes in olfactory design. And this is a fruity shipper, but this is a mango shipper. It's called Chypre Mojo 45. I looked high and low for a fruity shipper that's unusual. There are mango shippers, there are pear and apricot are very popular, that's the classic. And to me, Parfum formulation of Cartier Pantera, that's contemporary best. There are all kinds of fruits that can be added to the kind of the shipper base. And I've tried Mugler au Croisier, I think it's like their Cerise version, like the star. I tried the yellow bottles. Oh my god, you know what I'm talking about. Mango Skin, I think, by Wilhelm Perfumery. I tried different mangoes, and all of them are synthetic, citrusy, and sugary. None of them smelled realistically mango to me yet. But Chypre Mojo, it's not really about mango, it's about mango shipper. And it has a little bit of this weird, kind of like when you start fermenting fruits, if you leave them in champagne for too long. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's like a mango that's turning a little bit sour if you like suspend it in champagne. I love it. It's both sparkly, sour, like zesty, juicy sour, and mango sweet. This is the kind of mango I dig. This is the stuff that I would love to wear. The thing is that Perfume de Perfume is so hard to find in the United States, especially secondhand. This niche brand is not that well known. And I reviewed their fragrance called Milky Musk in my Milky Musk's video review, because that's also a profile that's very popular, but in its kind of pure form, not that easy to find. And they have very decent Milky Musk for sure. But this I think this is my favorite from the whole line. It's just delightful. If you're looking for an unusual, cheerful, fruity shipper, this is it. And again, when we're talking about fruity shippers, the contemporary kind, the kind that's kind of been done in like the mid 2000s, 2010 and such, but the way that they did it here with mango is just triple delightful. Like, think Champagne by, well, who was that? Yves Saint Laurent? Right? Yeah. But better. Much, much perfected. Much, much better. Much more champagne-like. Love it. Such a good find. I'm so excited that I found it secondhand. And, oh, here it is. I heard way too much about this perfume. And this is a relatively new perfume by Tat Libre d'Orange. They kind of, I think, lost their way for a while. They couldn't quite replicate the shock and the success that they had at the beginning, which is hard to replicate. They've had some controversial releases, let's just say that. And it's a tough thing to match. You can't keep going toward, absurd combinations just for the sake of shock. It's been done, particularly by them. But I think they kind of are finding their way back. So now they are trying to, in their new releases, I find this theme where it's almost like l'artisan parfumeur with a contemporary twist. So they find an olfactory design that's popular, very user-friendly, like any, so to speak, Instagram influencer could enjoy that, and just put just a little bit of a twist there, just a little bit of hooliganism, just a little bit of this So the one in question that's becoming very popular in the internets and the social media is Ghost in the Shell. I have a small version. The larger, the 50 ml and plus, they will have a special bottle design. I think it's like kind of matte or touch friendly. I haven't seen it in person. So mine is very simple glass bottle, but if you wanna like a full experience, get yourself 50 ml or larger. And Ghost in the Shell, if you read the impressions online, they are usually of two kinds. Nothing special, don't get it. And it's like, I love it. It's so amazing. Just listen to the nuances. Listen how it opens up. It has all of these kind of demure perversion to it. And I was like, what are you talking about? At first, this is just like a soapy floral with a bit of a lactonic base to it. Talking of white musks and like milky musks. Kind of metallic / ozonic notes start to pop up. And it's a really interesting transformation. And I almost find that the name fits it just so. It's such an imaginative way to name a perfume, and yet it really speaks to its nature. That's something that I love about Tat Libre d'Orange fragrances. At their best, they are very interesting to watch as they developed in time. They always contain kind of a hidden sarcasm or a hidden twist to them. I would say Ghost in the Shell is a success. Those of you who disagree with me, feel free to disagree. And again, on the surface of it, it's something just too banal, too kind of like, I'm so sweet, I'm soapy floral. But there is a bit of a cyberpunk kawaii mixture here of this like sweet kawaii girl who is apparently a one-eyed pirate on the side. It's just like there's like an interesting controversy happening here that you have to study and wait for to reveal itself. I like it. It's easy to wear, and yet it always eventually brings that surprise to you. And it's not revolting, it's just contrastive. That's what I would say. Yeah. Ghost in the Shell, call me a fan. I think 30ml is fine. It's probably gonna be enough for me. But not gonna lie, the full-size bottles, the ones that have like special bottle design, they do look cool. That ain't all, but I gotta stop myself somewhere. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what kind of designer perfumes have you recently reinforced in your collection? Have you expanded yourself to any perfumes, designer or niche? Likewise, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video somewhat. If you have any questions, feedback, suggestions, or recommendations for fragrances for me to try, please leave a comment below. We'll be waiting for them. Not so patiently. I love reading your comments. It's like, you know, it's the best feedback ever. If you wanna do a bottle swap or you wanna like share some of your favorite perfumes with me, my blogger address is down below. Feel free to connect me on social media as well. All of that is linked. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So we'll see each other again. And I am horrible at the video ending, so just bye-bye.